So, welcome to the annual budget meeting here at the Durham Community School. It is Wednesday, May 24th, 2023. We are back at the Durham Community School after a few-year hiatus for COVID and last year in Freeport. So I appreciate everyone who came out this evening. We will get started with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So I have a quick opening remarks to discuss about the annual budget meeting tonight. But since we're here in Durham, I'm going to take a quick diversion. I kind of wish I had a red bandana and an eye patch, because I hear, a little birdie told me, that today they celebrated 20 years of leadership here at Durham Community School of our own Will Pidden as a principal. So thank you, Will. I was trying to think, I was like, that doesn't seem possible. He only started just a few years before the school was built. And then I was like, well, that's 13 years. Yeah, no, I guess that all works out. So thank you, Will. Your leadership here is always appreciated and doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you. All right, on to our annual budget meeting. So good evening. Welcome to the RSU 5 annual budget meeting for the FY24 board adopted budget. The RSU 5 Board of Directors has worked diligently to develop a budget that is focused on the goals of the district and the needs of the students while remaining responsive to the needs of our taxpayers. The Board of Directors adopted an operating budget for FY24 of $39,080,569, which is an overall increase of 4.99%. The passage of our budget by the voters is critical to continuous improvement in our district. Financial resources were reallocated or reduced to lessen the tax impact while still strengthening the educational services for our students. The board used $900,000 of undesignated fund balance to reduce the tax implications of this budget. In addition, a projected $75,000 of interest income, thank you to the current interest rate environment, and $50,000 from child development services billing was used to further reduce the impact to the taxpayer. The estimated tax impact on the three towns is 2.66% in Durham, 2.45% in Freeport, and 2.73% in Pownell. Our first budget priority is to maintain class sizes according to the RSU 5 board policy. This year, we surpassed the projected enrollment by 76 students. Next year, we anticipate an enrollment that will continue to increase by 21 more students. To meet the needs of students for the upcoming school year, we're requesting an additional classroom teacher here at Durham Community School, a .2 physical education teacher at Moore Street School, and an additional teacher for multilingual learners at the district level. The second budget priority is to increase student support, which is clearly indicated as a need in our data. 3.5 social work positions in our school were funded through a federal grant money that is no longer available. Although the funding will be gone, the need continues. In addition to this request, we are requesting a .5 guidance counselor at Durham Community School to support student wellness. We are requesting an assistant principal at the Moore Street School to provide support for students and staff as the school continues to grow due to increased enrollment and specialized programming there. In order to address programming needs for students with special needs, we're requesting the addition of a full-time board-certified behavioral analyst, a BCBA. In addition, we would like to combine current contracted services funding with new funding to hire an athletic trainer to better support our student athletes. Our third priority is to support the infrastructure in order to provide a safe learning environment. We're asking for continued funding of the district's capital improvement plan, the Freeport High School tennis reserve account, and the Freeport High School Track and Field Reserve account. This forward-thinking accounts will allow us to maintain our facilities, our fields, and our grounds for years to come. Other non-discretionary expenditures include an increase in spending for the Region 10 Technical School and an increase in property and casualty insurance. In addition, due to the continued volatility in energy prices, an article is included to allow the board to transfer up to $100,000 from our current capital reserve fund to the fuel reserve fund if needed. The board of directors is appreciative of the continued support that our schools receive from the residents of the district. The proposed FY24 budget maintains class sizes of 14 to 23 in the pre-K-8 and is responsive to the needs of our students and supports the infrastructure, which will provide a safe learning environment for all. This evening, we're asking for your support for the budget presented before you. The referendum vote on the budget will take place on Tuesday, June 13th at your local polling locations. I will now ask Superintendent Scarappa to call for nominations for a moderator to begin the annual budget meeting.
Our first action is to open nominations for election of a moderator.
I nominate Gregory M.
Second.
Are there any other nominations from the floor? Seeing none, I close nominations. All in favor of Gregory M. to serve as moderator of this meeting, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay.
Aye.
Any nay? Gregory M. is now elected moderator. And I'll ask him to please come forward for the oath.
So, I, Greg M., swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Maine, so long as I shall continue to be a citizen thereof, and that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities the duties incumbent on me as moderator of the Regional School Unit 5 budget meeting on May 24th, 2023, in accordance with the Constitution and the laws of the state of Maine. So thank you, Superintendent Scarappa and Michelle. And thank you, everyone, for showing up tonight and participating in this budget approval process. My first order of business is to swear in the ballot clerks. They're the clerks who were out there front checking you in. And I'll represent to the meeting that just before, a little before this meeting started, I gave the ballot clerks an oath very similar to the one that I took, and they signed an oath, and I'm going to countersign that. Is there any objection to me pre-swearing them in? Because I can swear them in again if you like. Okay, seeing none, we're going to consider them sworn in. My next order of business is to set the rules of procedure for the meeting. I'm going to be guided by the Maine Moderator's Manual as modified by state law. These are the procedures that almost all moderators use for town meetings and school budget meetings in the state of Maine. Is there any objection to me using the Maine Moderator's Manual for our procedures tonight? Okay, seeing none, we'll do that. Oh, next, I forgot. There were a bunch of people here early for the board meeting, including board members. So when you check, if you hadn't checked in with your clerk, please do so. They'll give you a little colored card to vote and a little ballot for a written ballot that we'll have later. So by law, a person who's not registered to vote in the RSU is not allowed to speak at this meeting without consent of 2/3 of the voters present. There are some administrators who are here tonight who would be very useful to have provide information or to answer questions related to the budget. And so I'm going to ask for the general consensus of the meeting to allow these people to speak just to provide information on the budget. If any of these folks wanted to speak to the merits of a motion or debate for or against a motion, I would have a separate consent from you guys on that, okay? So just for information, these are the administrators that we're going to authorize to speak. Will Pidden, Kelly Rogers, Julie Nickerson, Jen Gulko, Holly Johnson, Aaron Dow, Cynthia Alexander, and Peggy Brown. Is there any objection to allowing these folks to provide information tonight? Okay, thank you. So this is a meeting of the voters of the RSU. You guys constitute the legislative body of the RSU, and your job tonight is to approve a budget, approve a school budget for the coming year, and that budget that is approved tonight, as the board chair said, will be subject to a yes/no vote at a secret ballot referendum on June 13th at your local polling places, so be sure to turn out for that as well. The agenda for this meeting is set forth in the warrant that was available out front. Let's see, we have 23 warrant articles to go through, and that's our agenda for the evening. Briefly, this is how we'll proceed. We're going to take up each article in turn. I'll read each article, and then I'll look for a motion and a second. After I get a motion and a second, I'll open up the floor for discussion. If you want to speak or ask questions about any of the motions on the floor, I'm going to ask that you come up to this microphone because it's to be heard better in this gym, and also I think we're recording this, so it's good. You need to use the microphone to be recorded properly. If you're making a motion or a second, you don't need to use the microphone. If you come up, I'll recognize you, and when I recognize you, please state your name and the town you're from. Questions should go through me, and I'll find the appropriate person to answer the question. Please limit your remarks to discussion that's relevant to the motion that's on the floor. For instance, if we're talking about special education instruction and you want to talk about buses, I'm going to ask you to hold your fire on that and wait till we get to that warrant article. So I don't have authority to cut off debate, to end discussion and go to a vote, but this meeting does. So there are times when discussion can go on for a while and you might think you've heard enough. So you're allowed to make a motion to say, please let's end discussion and vote on this. That's a little extraordinary, so it requires a 2/3 vote of the meeting to end discussion, okay? But just keep that tool in your back pocket in case we need it. I think, Cynthia, you're taking minutes. Thank you. And with that, I'm going to launch into the warrant, okay? All right, Article 1. To see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for regular instruction, the school board recommends $17,072,759.
So moved. Second.
Okay, so Article 1 has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on Article 1? Yes, sir. So, name and town, please.
My name is Nathan Ledger, Town of Durham. I just have a very general question. I might as well just get it out of the way for Article 1. Is there a... there's no increase here, so I know that we're spending money on different roles and positions. Do we have an increase on how much of each one of these articles have increased or decreased from the years previous? And if I should have done my homework before coming to the meeting, you can tell me that and I'll sit back down.
Michelle, is that...
Yeah, so we're, is that both? No, that's total. Sorry, we're trying to find the breakdown for you.
That's fine.
Here
And
we
like I said, if I should have done this beforehand, I'll accept that answer.
That's okay.
I just want to know which article is going up, which article is going down, and what the percentage differences of each expenditure.
So for Article 1, so the adopted is $17,072,759, which is a $671,502 increase, so 4.09%. So out front there was little booklets that look like these.
I'll grab that and stop wasting
And
everybody's time.
page 6 has each article and then last year's and the increase.
I'll grab that and stop wasting everybody's time. Thank you.
Thank you. And can everyone hear okay? No.
Rain.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah. And just this microphone was a little difficult? Okay. So when you come up to the microphone, it helps to speak into it because it makes a difference? Okay. Is there any other discussion on Article 1? Okay, seeing none, we're going to vote on Article 1, and we're going to do so by raising our colored cards. So all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. So Article 1 passes in the amount recommended. Article 2, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for special education, the school board recommends $5,366,821.
So moved. Second.
Okay, any discussion on Article 2? Okay, seeing none, we're going to vote on Article 2. All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 2 passes in the amount recommended. Article 3, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for career and technical education, the school board recommends $272,017.
So moved. Second.
Okay, any discussion on Article 3? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. So Article 3 passes in the amount recommended. Article 4, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for other instruction, the school board recommends $1,044,071.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Any discussion on Article 4? Okay. All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 4 passes in the amount recommended. When I speak into this, it sounds a little distorted to me. Is this okay? Okay. Article 5, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for student and staff support. The school board recommends $3,867,554.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on Article 5? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 5 passes in the amount recommended. Article 6, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for system administration, the school board recommends $1,074,251.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Would anyone like to speak to Article 6? It's going to be like this, huh? Okay, that's fine. All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 6 passes as written. As in the amount recommended. Article 7, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for school administration, the school board recommends $2,067,029.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on Article 7? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 7 passes in the amount recommended. Article 8, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for transportation and buses, the school board recommends $1,551,608.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on Article 8? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 8 passes in the amount recommended. Article 9, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for facilities maintenance. The school board recommends $5,219,819.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on Article 9? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 9 passes in the amount recommended. Article 10, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for debt service and other commitments. The school board recommends $1,100,000 $139,395.
So moved. Second.
Would anybody like to say anything about Article 10? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 10 passes in the amount recommended. Article 11, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for all other expenditures, the school board recommends $293,245.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on Article 11? Yes. Yes, sir.
My name is Peter Enzwini from Freeport, and I recognize that we go through this every year, and the budget goes through pretty much as described by the board. I'd like to remind, though, the board and members here that in 2007, the RSU was created to be effective, efficient, little administration, and well managed. Well, let me give you an opinion on that. In 2009, the budget was $23 million for the school. And in 2022-23, it is $39 million. And so in the last 15 years, the school board and the education system in the RSU has cost the Freeport, Pownell, and Durham residents $450 million. Now, I keep coming here and putting my no vote. It doesn't seem to matter. So I'm really happy that all these people are rich. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion on Article 11? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of Article 11? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 11 passes in the amount recommended. And so the Articles 1 through 11 were the articles that approve expenditures for the school budget. The next three articles raise revenues to support the school budget. So Article 12, to see what sum the regional school unit will appropriate for the total cost of funding public education from pre-kindergarten to grade 12 as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act, and to see what sum the regional school unit will raise and assess as each municipality's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from pre-kindergarten to grade 12 as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act in accordance with the Maine Revised Statutes, Title 20A, Section 15688. And the recommended amounts are set forth in two columns. The left column is what the Essential Programs and Services model computes to be what is needed for basic education in the RSU, and that totals $25,582,495.36, and that's apportioned, allocated between the towns above that. On the right-hand column is the total amount that the RSU is required to raise in order to be eligible to receive state subsidy. The total amount is $19,054,353.67, and the breakdown among the three towns is right above that. So I'd entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on Article 12? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 12 passes in the amounts recommended. Article 13, to see what sum the regional school unit will raise and appropriate for the annual payments on debt service previously approved by the regional school unit voters for non-state funded school construction projects or non-state funded portions of school construction projects, in addition to the funds appropriated as the local share of the regional school unit's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from pre-kindergarten to grade 12. The school board recommends $122,377.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on Article 13? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 13 passes in the amount recommended. Article 14. So this is the article that requires a written ballot. So after we finish discussion, we'll use the little green-ish yes/no ballots that you received when you checked in. And I'll say this once, and I'm going to say it again later. But there's no like box to check yes or check no. It just says yes or no. So like if you put an X through yes, I'm not sure. I don't think the clerks are sure what that means. So I'm going to suggest that you circle your choice or make it clear otherwise. But if you put an X through one and do nothing else, I think it's going to be counted as, or not counted because it's unclear, okay? So Article 14, to see what sum the regional school unit will raise and appropriate in additional local funds, which exceeds the state's essential programs and services allocation model as required to fund the budget recommended by the school board. So the school board recommends $11,197,605.04, which exceeds the state's essential programs and services allocation model by $11,677,082.04. The school board gives the following reasons for exceeding the state's essential programs and services funding model. The state's essential programs and services funding formula is a minimum model to support education in grades pre-K through 12. RSU number 5 provides additional funds to support lower teacher-student ratios and additional co-curricular activities in addition to complete educational programs for all of our students. Is there a motion for Article 14?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Any discussion on Article 14? Okay, seeing none, we're going to vote again. Again, please circle your choice. Don't just put an X through one. And we're going to put your votes in that ballot box to my left, your right. I will also suggest you're not required to fold your ballot. You can fold your ballot. Just if you fold your ballot, it takes the clerks longer to count. So do what you will, okay? So we'll be in recess while everyone casts their vote. Hey, Ben, Greg in.
Are you giving any charts for the school? Or?
Yeah, what's that? Oh. Okay, okay. The lost and found is 2 of these voting cards. So if you'd like to claim that back, right up here. So the results of the voting for Article 14, 92 in favor, 11 opposed, so Article 14 passes in the amounts recommended. Article 15. To see what sum the regional school unit will authorize the school board to expend for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023 and ending June 30, 2024 from the regional school unit's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from pre-kindergarten to grade 12 as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act, local funds for non-state funded school construction debt service, additional local funds for school purposes under the Maine Revised Statutes Title 20A, Section 15690, unexpended balances, tuition receipts, state subsidy, and other receipts for the support of schools. The school board recommends $38,968,569.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion on Article 15? Seeing none, we're going to vote on Article 15. All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 15 passes in the amount recommended. Article 16, to see if the regional school unit will appropriate $251,284 for adult education and raise $112,000 as the local share, with authorization to expend any additional, incidental, or miscellaneous receipts in the interest and for the well-being of the adult education program.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion on Article 16? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. All those opposed? Thank you. Article 16 passes as written. Article 17, shall the school board be authorized to transfer up to $35,000 from available fund balances to the Track and Field Capital Reserve Fund, and to expend said reserve funds upon express authorization of the RSU voters or as permitted by law?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on Article 17? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 17 passes as written. Article 18, shall the school board be authorized to transfer up to $40,000 from available fund balances to the Tennis Court Capital Reserve Fund, and to expend said reserve funds upon express authorization of the RSU voters or as permitted by law?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion on Article 18? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 18 passes as written. Article 19, shall the school board be authorized to transfer up to $150,000 from available fund balances as needed to the Fuel Cost Stabilization Fund? So the Fuel Cost Stabilization Fund balance is currently $100,000. If this article is approved as written, the Fuel Cost Stabilization Fund balance may be increased to $250,000. The amount used from the Fuel Cost Stabilization Fund in the last 3 years through the date this article was prepared is as follows, and it's $0 for the past 3 fiscal years.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on Article 19? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 19 passes as written. Article 20. Shall the Regional Career and Technical Education operating budget, as approved by the Cooperative Board for the year beginning July 1, 2023 through June 30, 2024, be approved in the amount of $3,729.65. Let me try that again. In the amount of $3,729,065.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion on Article 20? Thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 20 passes as written. Article 21, in addition to amounts approved in the preceding articles, shall the school board be authorized to expend such other sums as may be received from federal or state grants or programs or other sources during the fiscal year for school or other program purposes, provided that such grants, programs, or other sources do not require the expenditure of other funds not previously appropriated.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion on Article 21? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 21 passes as written. Article 22, shall the school board be authorized to transfer amounts exceeding 5% of the total appropriation for any cost center to another cost center or among other cost centers for the 2023-2024 fiscal year, provided that transfers shall not be permitted to increase the authorized total school budget?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion on Article 22? Yes, sir.
Kevin Netto, Durham. I'm speaking in favor of this article. I've been involved in many budgets, and I can tell you that this is an important piece of flexibility that actually allows a board to maybe bring in a budget a little bit lower than they might have, because they don't have to build in a big cushion into every article. This gives them a little bit of flexibility to move things around. And I also want to take the opportunity to commend the board on the budget they put together here. Not just this year, but really over the past 10 years. As the gentleman alluded to earlier, we've seen some pretty big increases, and those big numbers look scary. But when you take it in context of other economic data, in the last 10 years, the school budget has grown about 27%, which is exactly in line with the compound rate of inflation over that period, and all that during that time, absorbing a 13% enrollment increase. So I commend the board. I think you've done a great job over the years of balancing the needs of the kids with the needs of the taxpayers, so thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion on Article 22? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 22 passes as written. Article 23, in the event that the regional school unit receives more state education subsidy than the amount included in its budget, shall the school board be authorized to use all or part of the additional state subsidy to increase expenditures for school purposes in cost center categories approved by the school board, increase the allocation of finances in a reserve fund approved by the school board, and or decrease the local cost share expectation as defined in Title 20A, Section 15671-A1B for local property taxpayers for funding public education as approved by the school board.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Is there discussion on Article 23? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. So Article 23 passes as written. That's the end of our business this evening. So I want to, again, thank everybody for coming out and participating in this process, and remind everybody again that the budget that we approved this evening is subject to another yes, no vote, thumbs up, thumbs down, on June 13th at your local polling places. So at this point, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor of adjourning? Opposed? Thank you. We're adjourned. Thank you again very much. Drive safely.